This is a resupply canister, and the front was made like this so it could collapse to absorb the shock when it landed. And inside it would have whatever needed to be packed. And of course they could put a lot of them inside the there's three racks. So when they would drop, it would pull on that lanyard, and then the pressure would deploy. Whatever this one, you know.
I know when it's all over the house.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So you were asking me about this? So that's called a pitot tube. And all airplanes, even the most modern jet today, they have one of those. So it doesn't matter if the airplane is small or big or whatever it is. And a pitot tube, pitot tube. Rear of the airplane, they had just a catwalk like this.
Yeah.
So you had So on the right hand side, those tubes were for the controls of the airplanes.
Which one?
If they had a fire or something to isolate.
You sure wouldn't want to get out of here in a hurry.
Well, and don't forget, you got nice summer clothes on.
No way of getting out from here, right?
Not that I know of.
No, just climbing out?
One of the problems that they had is that if the turret got jammed, when it was turned, there was no way out.
Oh, right. Don't turn this. I'm claustrophobic. It had to be freezing cold back here.
They had electric suits.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if everybody had electric suits, but they had electric suit that they plug into the electrical system of the aircraft.
Oh, yeah.
And that would keep them somewhat warm. But you see, at 20,000 feet, the temperature, even in the summertime, it's minus, let me see, 3 degrees per 1,000 feet, 20, 60.
Holy, and how many hours would they sit back here?
Well, they wouldn't sit there for the takeoffs and the landings.
No.
But once they got over enemy territory, they would definitely be in there, and with the doors closed, and just watching the skies all the time.
Wow.
So they could be there for 6, 7, 8 hours at a time.
Oh my God. It's hard to even fathom.
Yes, well this one had an upper turret, but like I said, it was modified extensively, so it didn't have it, but you'll see where the, so you can go forward if you want to now. Be careful again. And the aircraft is on a slant.
Now, can you step on that? Or
Yes, you can.
gotta go around?
Yeah, no, you can step on that. And that's where they would drop the parachutist.
Oh, okay.
Like, they would open these covers,
Yeah.
and they would have the hole there, and they would jump, and that's why they have the green and red light here.
Oh, yeah.
And
okay.
so we got them on a sequence right now, so it'll go back. And you didn't notice that, but on the floor,
Yeah.
you saw the 2 rails.
Yes.
And so that's where the ammunition would be fed to the machine guns.
Okay, on a string. Like
Well, it was on tracks.
Yeah.
There are the rails here.
Yeah, but it fed right into the gun.
Yes,
Right?
that's right, right into the guns.
Now, what would be?
So, you were asking, what was that again? No. So this is part of the heating system here.
Okay.
So the air would come in from those vents that I mentioned outside. It would be fed through a ducting system, and it would come through this here, and then we had those, we plugged the ends of it, but that's how the air would flow into the aircraft. Now this is where the turret was. You see the ring here?
Yeah. Yeah.
So they wanted to save the weight.
And the wind.
Yeah, so
factor.
and for the speed and range. And so they removed it, but because the aircraft was designed
And
for
at one time they had one down below too, and it was disastrous.
Yeah, so
People were getting crushed in it.
yeah, so that's gone. So the step ladder here was like an escape type thing to go
Oh,
to
yeah.
the roof here. So they would just pull this down and then climb up and get out. That was like an emergency exit. The rear spar and what you got up front there, that's the front spar. Now the wing covering goes from there all the way up to the front there. You can see the wing through that window here.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and that here is the the frame of the wings.
You
here.
can really see the slamper on
Oh
here,
yes,
going
yeah.
out
The
there.
wing is really thick
Yeah,
on that
but I'm
aircraft.
looking this way and
Yes, yeah. So you see the wing goes even below you, and look where it is. That's the shape of the wing. No, you see this frame here?
Yeah.
This is the shape of the wing.
Okay.
Yes, but if they were injured, then they need to be put down, lay down. So they would lay down here. And of course, on the walls, you got all the bits and pieces of electronics.
Here it's so big, and back there
Oh,
it's so little.
narrow. So you can sit in any seats on board the airplane except the pilot seat, okay? But any other seat you can sit.
Now, this would be the engineer.
No, that would be, this one was already.
Oh, okay.
So that's why there's a stand there. But that was the flight engineer's panel, some of the stuff that he had to deal with, or
Yeah.
some of the instrumentations. But the flight engineer would sit, you see this seat here?
Yeah.
So he would flip this over and he would sit next to the pilot
Oh,
a little
okay.
bit further back
Okay.
so that he could have access to things in the back here.
Okay.
And if you look at the cowling on the engines, you see that parts that can open at the
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
They're called the cow
Yeah.
gills. And so you could open or close them depending on
The navigator would be.
Oh, this is way up front.
Yes.
You're pretty exposed right there, too.
Oh, you are. I mean, there's just thin plastic in front of you.
Here, maybe I should let you go forward.
You could sit in this one.
So that's navigator station here, and all of his instruments are based here, and that's his table and maps. And the radio operator was behind, underneath the pilot. I'll just step out of your way so you can go up front and take picture.
Okay.
There you go.
Now, was this called a turret? No.
No, that was called the bomb aimers section.
Okay. So there was no gun out through there. The trees. You
No.
can see the tops of the trees are lopped
Oh,
off. They're
clipped
still
off.
there. And the
So-
fuel spilled, so it's like petrified wood.
Yes. So what happened to the
He
wreckage?
sent us a beautiful scrapbook of my dad, to my
Oh.
dad, showing graves of the two that died, and showing putting flowers on them every year. Sent a piece of shrapnel from the plane,
Yeah.
put it together
Yeah.
on camera, and he said we always have one eternal link.
You know, Errol, there's windows that are open here, and if you stand up here, then your wife can take picture.
Yeah, because they tried to get Scudder out, and he panicked, and he held on to the plane, and
What was that rating?
they couldn't drag him out. They threw Bellinger out.
Did he survive? Bouncer?
He landed in a tree because he was already wounded
Yes.
in the shooting. I want to see the radio operator's place.
Yeah. Take your time.
Oh, every place is cramped.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm on my tippy toes. I gotta hook my chin on here so I can see you. Like this. Oh. He just got his bomber command bar.
Oh, nice. Good.
The bar that goes on
Yes.
the screen.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it arrived He died in 1994.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, every wreath I've taken over and every
Be
time
on camera right now. If somebody can.
I'll do the Queen one.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So this nobody did anything here except for observation for stars, for navigation purpose. So that's why this is a step bench
Yeah.
here. These are the oxygen bottles that they had on
Oh,
board,
yeah.
and of course the flight
And if
engineer.
there's a fire down there on the wings, that's not too safe.
No, but
Flammable oxygen.
it's always a compromise.
This is amazing.
And the noise inside of these things
Yes.
would be horrific
Yeah,
because you have 4 big engines.
I've been outside the Lancaster when they fired it out.
Yes.
And it's
So
noisy.
that's right. It's inside here. So I know that this is the heating system, but trust me, there's not all that much heat coming out of those things.
So you trained for these, or?
Not on the bombers. I was in the Air Force,
Okay.
and I trained on ours. Yeah, they may have practiced air gunning.
Wherever he was before he went over to England.
Yes.
He trained in
Mhm.
Harvard.
So we have one of those here too in the museum.
So-
ducts go also
Oh, okay.
all the way to the back.
Okay.
And so the faster you went, the more flow you got through the heating system. But they
Now, if the doors were closed back there,
well, there wouldn't be an intercom plug on this seat here because that was nobody's
it would
position.
be down
But
there.
down there, there would be a plug. You see where they plug. See that it doesn't take much of a piece of shrapnel to sever the whole thing,
No.
and that's it. It
Wow.
was it was war.
What time do you have? Because we've got to get to see the museum too.
Oh, you got listen.
We got lots
I'm
of
yours.
time.
You can
Okay.
spend all the time you
Oh,
want.
what's that big bubble on top?
Okay, so what does it look like? A
It
football?
looks like a golf tee with a ball on top.
Like a football?
No, it's round, perfectly
And so
round.
what that is, it's a radio antenna, and it's called an ADF, Automatic Direction Finder. And so the way it works is the same as your. Do you have a little portable AM radio at
Yeah.
home? So you'll find out that if you take that AM radio and turn it, you'll get to a point where you can't get the
Any
radio.
reception.
So you have to turn it again.
Okay.
Okay? So that's the same thing.
So they can turn that.
Yes. This one was electric.
Yeah.
And so, and it was probably automatic too. So what happened is that they had a receiver inside. When they put the right frequency on, the signal would come in, and then the motor would turn the antenna one way. Antenna, and for the long time, a lot of aircraft had those. Now that technology is gone.
I can't even.
And so when you went into your place, you closed the door and you wanted to be totally
Oh,
totally concentrated on
the what?
batteries
Oh yeah, okay.
to help them with lighting and or possibly other.
But there wasn't a lot of lighting. They weren't bright in here.
No, because first of all, you didn't want lighting.
No, it was like blackout in England.
Yes, exactly.
See, my mother was active as well. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Harold. I found a picture of my mom I never found before. There's her and her whole crew with all the names on it, with their hard hats on. You lay down here, you go.
Yes,
Slide all the way
that's
down.
right. That's yeah. Now, mind you, when the airplane was flying,
It's level.
it was level.
Yeah.
So it was.
Because right now it feels like you're going.
Yes, and that's why I said to you, you got to be careful
Yeah.
inside because everything looks normal until you.
But sitting here, it feels like I'm going whoop.
Yes, yes. Yes, there would have been. Yes, there would have. Well, I think that the fellow here, I think he stood up. I don't think he was sitting down. But he would have been on the platform. Oh, okay. Yes. So that because this one wasn't equipped that way. Yeah, I don't know. That's
support or?
no, that's the top of the wing that goes
Oh,
across.
the tail wing, right?
Yeah, see, that's the
Okay,
wheel
yeah,
here.
Okay,
And so that's just part
Okay. yeah,
of the frame.
I know why it dropped down.
Uh-huh. Yes, because they would have a spar in there too.
That's amazing, that whole hole. It's banging him in the head.
Oh yeah. Yes. So you see where you were. This is see
Yeah.
the undercarriage here, so that was the
Yeah, I was just above the wheel.
Yeah, that's it. And that's where you were.